Welcome back to Tomb Raider Tuesday, lovelies, and welcome to the bottom of the goddamned ocean. We are, as the name of the stage implies, going 40 fathoms down from the surface. Not as bad as it sounds, really. 1 fathom is like 6 feet, so we're only actually about 73 meters under here. As you saw at the end of the last stage, the diving area, we're hitching a ride down on the Fiamma Nera submersible. How'd you know it's a Fiamma Nera submersible? Why? Because they've spray painted their logo all over the side of it, of course, just like they do with every helicopter, key card, and probably every sock, sandwich bag, and prophylactic that they own. The skipper suspects he's got a stowaway and deploys the mechanical claw of doom to unstow Lara's head from her body, but luckily for us, the greatest troll in the ocean is around to save the day. Fuck you! Only joking, mate, calm yourself down. But, Mr. Shark's cruel prank causes the submersible to smash into a wall, and that's your free ride over. And now you're stuck at the bottom of the ocean with undoubtedly the most unruly hooligan to ever wield a pair of pectoral fins. Sharkwahlberg. Another one of Gilstreak's dreaded posse. Sure seem to have a lot of water-based enemies for some reason. There's actually 2 of these cruising around down here, but we've only got enough breath in our pathetic human lungs to do one over before we have to go and find an oxygen hole. Have that, you filthy nightmare fish. Alright, so this is a fairly short and straightforward level broken up into 3 large aggravating puzzles. Your first challenge is finding out where you gotta swim to before you drown. Your first instinct, I'm sure, will be to try to swim up to the surface, but that doesn't fucking exist, so you gotta duck in here to start the stage properly. I'm coming for you, Shark! Let's hope he's stayed relatively close to the ship here. Sometimes he tries to escape the level and I find him swimming mindlessly into one of the corners. He's ambitious! No, he's behaving himself today. His reward will be a swift death. Well, swift as I can manage with this instrument of fucking barbarity. There. Didn't feel a thing. Back when I played Tomb Raider 2 for the first time, the Sharks commanded a pretty broad fear factor from gamers, which, even today, is kinda justified. I mean, sure, they're simple to outmaneuver. They got the turning circle of San Francisco, and it's easy to outswim them thanks to their leisurely pace, but should one of them manage to take a lump out of you when you're down to around a quarter of your health, lights out, bitch. And they don't just nibble you for that final blow either. They got their own special animation where they bite into you and ragdoll your ravaged body to shit. They don't want to just kill you. When your corpse finally washes up off the coast of Italy, Croatia or Montenegro, they want to give some local police detective a fucking headache trying to put you back together. Now that scenario is thankfully quite easy to avoid because the Sharks really are the Michael Myerses of Tomb Raider enemies, slowly drifting toward you, fully confident that they'll catch you eventually. But don't get cocky. Many an overconfident Lara puppeteer has met their doom trying to embarrass one of these floating school buses with teeth by swimming directly underneath or over the top of it, and their attack range can be a nasty fucking surprise that you won't get a chance to recover from. Maybe the most formidable aspect of the Sharks back in the day though was, for quite a while, they were widely believed to be invincible by a lot of people that played the game, and with 2 of their spear-ravaged carcasses rotting in the ocean already, that might seem a little far-fetched to you, but the thing with the Sharks is that there are very few places in these stages where you can lure them to be able to put them down with your pistols or your shotgun or just any weapon that's really worth a shit, anything besides the fucking Harpoon Gun. So if you do want to kill one, 9 times out of 10, the Harpoon Gun's your only option. And by the time 40 Fathoms kicks off, unless you've really been hunting for those harpoons, and by the time you've probably spunked a few trying to outgun the frogman, you're not going to have anywhere near enough to drop a shark here. So your typical shark encounter would involve launching 6 or 7 harpoons into its face, watching in horror as it refused to give a fuck, getting nearly a quarter of your health bar torn off, and then pissing your knickers and fleeing in the opposite direction vowing to never again be foolish enough to swim within 100 meters of one of the machete-faced murder dinghies. And compound that as well with actually having to kill one with the harpoon gun, or just kill anything with a damn harpoon gun at all, really. I honestly didn't mean to brush over that back there or make it sound as inconsequential or trivial as I might have done, because, and I may have briefly mentioned this back in the diving area. Fuck the harpoon gun! Fuck the oh, I wish it had a soul so it could burn in hell, you know? I wish there was some way, some Pinocchio-esque method to bring it back to life via blue fairy and wishing upon a star, so that I could spend a solid week beating it nearly to death and then nursing it back to health, just so I could do it the fuck all over again. I apologise, you'd have to bear with me here, this is incredibly fucking irritating. I haven't got enough harpoon ammo to kill these aggravating barracudas and the shark down there, so we've got to play out this bullshit where we lure them to the surface, try to turn around and blast them in time before they swim off. I'd have this stage down in 10 minutes flat if I didn't have to piss about waiting up here trying to turn these little bastards inside out. And you see there, right, they'll swim off just as you start to aim, they'll just escape you. No good keeping your lock and just waiting for them to come back either. They'll never come back. They just hide around the corner and then fly at you the minute you're back in the water. Stay there. Stay. Ah! Oh. Thank bloody Christmas. There we go. Having to use this piece of shit again almost seems a relief by comparison now. I remember playing the first Tomb Raider, painstakingly luring those bastard crocodiles and rats up to the surface to kill them with the pistols, all the while thinking to myself, God, you know, wish I had some way to murder these fuckers underwater, some kind of amphibious rifle or torpedo launcher maybe, you know, nothing too dramatic. Well, be careful what you fucking wish for, that's what I took away from that debacle. I would honestly be happier if they just dropped me a length of seaweed to strangle everything to death with. I'm trying to think up maybe the number one problem with a harpoon gun, but that's kind of like trying to think up the number one problem with racial cleansing, isn't it? It's just fucking awful right across the board. Its very existence within the game is at odds with itself. You know, for one thing, if we've got to start somewhere, it has the smallest amount of ammo available for any of the weapons in the game, aside from maybe the grenade launcher. Difference there being, you shoot 99% of shit once with a grenade launcher, and it stops bothering you because it's in 8 directions more than it used to be. With a harpoon gun, you literally need to find 2 ammo pickups, because they only come in bundles of 4, 2 ammo pickups to be able to put down anything stronger than a barracuda. And that's if you don't miss, which you will, constantly, because just having an aiming lock on something with a harpoon gun isn't like the other guns, doesn't mean you're actually gonna fucking hit anything when you fire it, oh no. Despite the enormous bloody air tank on the piece of shit, the spears themselves dawdle along at approximately fuck you miles per hour, so if you don't want to be watching your incredibly rare harpoon gun ammo spiral off fruitlessly into the distance or bounce off a cave wall, anything besides actually hit what you're trying to shoot at, because it has long since changed direction since you pulled the trigger and paddled off to pastures new, you better be damn sure it's about 3 feet in front of your face, which is a gigantic problem if you're trying to kill a shark because it will fucking eat you, and a monumental problem if you're trying to kill a frogman because they'll have shot you to pieces long before you ever get close enough to hurt them. Why don't the frogmen have to reload after every 4 bloody shots? I mean, that's not so much the question here, is it? It's more like, why do you have to reload after every 4 bloody shots? I understand why that's in place for weapons like the shotgun and the grenade launcher. You know, they're powerful guns and you just wipe the floor with some areas if you never had to pause between shots, but Jesus Christ, did you really need to nerf the fucking harpoon gun? Already the most utterly feeble nugget of crap in the entire game. by grabbing the player by the arm every 4 shots and saying, "Whoa now, that fish is already a quarter of the way to being dead. Why don't we take a little break there, Doc Holliday?" There, I'm done now, I'm done venting about the Harpoon Gun. Thank you for listening. You're a good friend and your hair smells nice. Let's calmly swim down and get our last dragon statue of the level now. Hey, guess what your reward for getting all the dragon statues in 40 Fathoms is? Oh boy! 16 harpoons! Well, that's nearly enough to kill 2 whole sharks. God almighty. There's like 3 more barracudas swimming around up here. I need to save all those harpoons for an unpleasant underwater battle in the next level, so guess what we gotta do again? Kill me. But you first, fish! Fucking get to fish hell, you fin shit. To be fair, this part's not as bad as before. We're not taking pot shots at him from around a blind corner this time, so hopefully this won't be too interminable. 1 more shot should do us. Or 2, whatever. Whatever it costs to be free of this pedantry, I'll pay. Sorry. Spent most of this level exorcising my own demons here rather than explaining it to you, haven't I? At the beginning I mentioned 3 irritating puzzles. The second of which was that timed sprint around the ship, throwing the different switches to turn off the burners back there. If you don't want to mess about with that and you got a few medipacks handy, you can just charge across the flames, throw the final switch and drop into the pool on the other side of the door. No extended running about required, but now we're on the final little pain in the arse. 2 giant rooms filled with a ton of dirt that we're going to have to shift about and climb all over to reach a 3rd little chamber where we can open up the exit. Although the stage is called 40 Fathoms, only the very start of it is actually set in the outside ocean. We're inside the cargo hold and engine room complex of the Maria Doria cruise liner right now. First of 4 levels we'll be spending here. Cover your ears, Crusaders. Fuck me backwards! That's a good switch that, isn't it? Think we found the Maria Doria's nuclear contingency lever there. As we learn from Brother Chan, the monk we found beaten senseless at the end of the diving area, the Maria Doria belonged to Marco Bartoli's magician father, Gianni. There's kind of a blood feud running between Brother Chan and the Bartolis, seeing as it was Chan's father that bombed Gianni's ship and sent him, it, and the all-important Seraph, the key to a catacomb that holds another key to the manky wooden gate back in China that will finally lead us into the Temple of Shan and that damn dragon dagger. To the bottom of the ocean. And Marco's got his goons down here looking for it. I'm sorry if you think I'm just re-explaining a cutscene you've already seen to here, by the way, but that monk's accent is fucking impenetrable. I had no idea what was going on until I tracked down the game script itself, so I'm just assuming you're as bad with accents as I am. Over the top, borderline racist accents anyway. The same guy that voices Chan voices all the Italian characters in the game too, Simon Greenall. You might be thinking to yourself, my god, that's the most English name there's ever been. Don't start up with Benedict Cumberbatch either, because that's not a person's name. That's a brand of budget fags that old ladies pay for with bags of 2p's. Simon Greenall, English through and through, so he's just putting on these horrible thick stereotypical dialects for all the characters he voices here. No, I can't be too sore at him though. You ever see any of the Alan Partridge shows? Steve Coogan is maybe my #1 influence in my attempts to be an amusing, entertaining human being. And the various Alan Partridge shows and specials are just the zenith of my sense of humour. And you know the lunatic Geordie, Michael? That's Simon Greenall. Same fucking guy. Christ almighty, I pulled this right up. Oh, fuck me, there's one in the face. Murder me dead. Well, there you have it. Next time you get it in your head that I'm a decent Tomb Raider player, you will remember this utter shit show, won't you? Another level we're crawling out of with a flashing life bar screaming at us to seek out medical attention here, but never. I never will. I'll die before I use your filthy medical witchcraft. I really will. There we go, Crusaders. That's it for this beefy Tomb Raider Tuesday. Do try and find it in your hearts to come back next time as we go rooting through the slightly more interesting entertainment quarter of the ship in wreck of the Maria Doria. Don't leave me down here alone with these atrociously voiced Italians. I beg you.